Hi, let us have a quick understanding on serverless architecture. The computing world have come across a long way right from the data center to the FaaS, that is function as service. In earlier days, we used to have a data center where we will be having a dedicated machine which is running a specific function or a functionality and serving in a specific port. Whenever a request comes through a particular port, it's going to serve the request. So the computer system or the machine should be always available, that is 24/7. And that's where every organization were working on the scalability and availability. That is making sure the functionality is always available as well as it is able to handle the request. And the scalability is going to be very tough in the data center area where the IaaS has become very popular, infrastructure as a service, where I can get whatever the infrastructure that I want more dynamically, I can get it. And maintaining the infrastructure is a problematic in terms of upgrading the service pack or any patches, any releases that we wanted to do. It's going to be very difficult in IaaS. And that's where the PaaS came into picture. That is platform as a service. Whatever the platform that we need, that is .NET or Java, the entire platform will be provided as a service. I can get whatever the capacity I want. I don't need to worry about upgrading the operating system or upgrading the patch or any security patch. I don't need to worry about. Then came the software as a service. The entire software will be provided as a service like Office 365. And sometimes the organization might not be willing to get the entire software for their use. So they might be looking at a specific functionality, not the entire software, only a specific functionality. That's where the microservices, the FaaS all got popular. In function as a service, that is FaaS, where I'll be having a custom code written and that will be executed on demand in a ephemeral container. There are a number of public services available like AWS Lambda, Azure Functions, Cloud Functions, a number of public services are available, and we can have our own platforms using OpenFaaS, OpenWhisk, Kubeless, Spring Cloud Functions, and a number of platforms available. For example, OpenWhisk is an Apache project where it provides the platform for serverless architecture. Once if I deploy the OpenWhisk, it can be made to run in a number of servers. Whatever the data that is coming in, I can have any function or I can have function as any language, that is either it's a JavaScript or Python, or it could be a Java, PHP, Go language, it could be in any language. A piece of functions would be existing and only on request the function would get executed. So it's going to consume the resource only on execution. Let's see a small example in AWS Lambda. This is my account where I have created a function, a serverless function. What this particular function does, the function would get triggered whenever I add an image in a S3 container or S3 storage within AWS. S3 is object storage where I can store any file that I want within the S3. So this has a piece of code. Let me not worry about the code now. I'm just going to explain the functionality. I have provided the configuration for this particular function. So what this particular function does, whenever I add a file into the S3 bucket, it's going to trigger this particular function. So this function, what it will do, it will read the image and it will use a specific service within AWS called recognition. I do have a service called recognition which will analyze the image and it will give the information on what this particular image is about. I can provide any image that I want and it will give me a tag on what that particular image is about. It runs on AI. So I can have any image. So whatever the image that I provide, it's going to give the information on. It has about vehicles, transportation, car, automobile, human, person, and how much confident it is. I can provide any image that I want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this particular Lambda function, and whatever the image that I add, it will be using this specific recognition and get the tag what are all the content available, as well as is there any text available within that particular image. That also it will extract and it will add it into a SNS topic. SNS is a simple notification service. So it's going to send the image labels to a simple notification service. So this is that specific service. So I can get into the SNS service. So I have a topic. It's going to write into this specific topic. And this particular topic is configured to send out a email to my email address. So it's going to send out an email to my email address whenever there is a message into this SNS. And I do have a bucket which will be acting as a trigger. Whenever I add any image into this particular bucket, this particular Lambda would get triggered. So the workflow works like this. So what's going to happen? This particular Lambda function would get triggered while adding any image into this particular S3 bucket, and the resources would get consumed only for the function time that I'm getting executed, or the duration for which the function is getting executed. And if there are no requests for the entire day or for the entire month, there will not be any charge happening against the Lambda. That's a very, very huge advantage. In the other way, if I am hosting my own service, or if I am hosting a server, whether there are requests getting served or not, I'll end up paying for the infrastructure. In FAS, I'll be paying only for the function that I am utilizing, or the number of times I am executing the function. Only based on that, the cost would get calculated. I'm going to add an image into the bucket. Let me select an image. I do have a small meme with a text included. Let me open. So next, let me provide enough permission for this particular image so that the function can read. So I have uploaded one image. So what will happen? The function would get triggered immediately, and it is going to use the recognition service, identify the tags or what content available within that particular image, and send out an email. Yes, I do have an email. Let me open the email. So the email providing me the details on, there's a animal and it's a pet. It's 92% confident, as well as it has a text called tech support, and another text, my mouse is dead. The same thing can be visualized within the log of this particular function. Within CloudWatch, I can see the log, what happened for this particular function. So this is the latest one. So image got uploaded, and this is what the text it identified. Also, I can use this to screen the images, whether is there any nudity content or whether the image is child safe or not. So all such verification I can automate it. Let me do another test where I'm going to add another image. I'm going to upload this specific image where I do have a woman in the beach. I have uploaded the image. Let me go and verify the CloudWatch. So the function would have got triggered for this particular image. So it should have read the image. So here is the content. So it identified it's about clothing, 99%, and the woman is having a hat, person is there, human, and there is a sun. So all such information, swimwear, how much confident it is. So it can identify and can provide the confidence. So with this particular value, I should be in a position to validate the memes getting posted in the social media, as well as the images getting posted in the social media, whether it is child safe or whether it is violating any of the policy of that particular website or not. I can use it to verify and validate. FAS is very popular as we are going to pay only for the number of requests that we are serving through that particular function.